yesterday, so I am going to record this one and hope that everything goes well. But I will share the slides with you immediately following this. I will send you the templates immediately following this, and this recording, hopefully it works.
Great.
Okay.
And we just had Mary Zanus join us, and she is with HR.
Wonderful.
Good morning, Mary. Yeah. She does.
Well,
she's really pumped about priority-based budgeting.
Well, I know first thing in the morning, this is probably not your ideal way to start the day, but we're going to make this as quick and painless as possible.
You're right.
So as soon as my screen switches over, okay, well, welcome to the final step of your PBB process. So peer review is what we're going to discuss today, and we're going to talk about the process of peer review and then how to actually complete the final step in the template. So we're going to just quickly go through a summary of what has been done and why we're doing it, and then we'll actually jump into the steps that need to be taken. So just a reminder of the process. You all have gone through and defined your priorities as a department. Now, division heads have gone in, and as subject matter experts on their division, they have assigned scores to the programs identified. Now we are starting the step of going through and validating those scores by result area. So we have created teams of cross-functional users to go in and become experts in one specific area, and then they will go back through and validate all the scores for the programs across all divisions.
Hey, Liz, I'm sorry. Should we be seeing a PowerPoint?
Yes. Is it not on your screen?
No.
Natural resources of 4.
From my side, it shows that it's sharing. I'm going to stop sharing it and see if I redo it, if that will make a difference.
Okay. Do you want me to click the link again, maybe, for the meeting?
Well, you should. I mean, that should be done, but let me I'm going to share again and see if that helps.
Okay.
Okay, did anything pop up?
No.
What links do you see that you could click on?
Let's see. It says download and run Zoom.
Well, you shouldn't need to download it to run it.
Yeah.
Let me think about what. Do you, on your screen, do you have the home page that shows the participant information and invite others screen? Do you see that?
Let me.
You know what, Krista, I'm looking. I see you only connected by phone. I don't see you connected by web.
Sorry, I closed and re-clicked.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. We'll see if that restarts it.
It's trying to connect. This is Mary. I'm good. How are you?
Full screen, and let's see if that makes it better.
I think something came out yesterday.
Is that getting bigger, Krista?
No.
So hopefully today that we can make a decision on the side.
Okay. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, I won't start over. I'll just continue going because this is, I think, review for most of you. So just to remind you why we go through all these steps, we define the priorities in order to create transparency and consistency. Every single program is going to be scored against the results that you all have identified as a department. Then we ask that you all go through and, as subject matter experts, apply those scores, which provides accurate information about your program. Then we go through the peer review process because that allows for people outside of your division to offer input and validation of the scores provided. And then the final step is when the super users and leadership group come in and make sure that everything is correct. If there's anything additional that needs to be discussed, that is the step that happens during final scores. So the final scores are used to assign alignment to the programs. So a lower score at the final scores is correlated with a lower quartile ranking. So we have 4 quartiles, ranking highest to lowest quartile 1, 2, 3, and 4. So each program will be assigned to a quartile based on alignment to the results. So that is a big determination. It's not the value of the program, and it's how they align with the results. So that's just to help foster discussion and to look at ways that resources might be reallocated to something that's in higher alignment with your priorities as a department. So again, we're going from the subject matter expert for the programs to the subject matter expert for the result area. So we use results to connect your budget to the strategic plan. So these are things that are identified by the super users and the leadership group as important to your department. They are unique to Kansas City Parks. Then we have something from ResourceX that are called the Basic Program Attributes, or BPAs. And these help with decision making. So there will potentially be programs that are lower in alignment with your result areas, but they may be mandated. They may have 100% cost recovery. You may have a grant that funds a program. And so it's important to take that information into account as we go into the final scores. And that will be the results plus the basic program attribute scores is what determines the final score. Just as a reminder, for those of you who weren't a part of scoring, we score on a scale of 0 to 4. So 0 meaning that there is no influence on the success of that result area, all the way to 4, that program is essential to the success of that overall result area. This is just a little more detail on what those scores reflect. So from essential down to minor or none. Then the BPAs, which include mandate, reliance, demand, cost recovery, and population served. These are just useful for describing a program. So they are scored on the same scale of 0 to 4, but the definitions are slightly different. So just a quick update, you all will not be peer reviewing the BPAs. Krista and Terrence have gone through and scored these. I do believe you're going to have the opportunity to review them, but we're not going to go through the formal peer review process for the BPAs. But just a quick discussion. A 4 for mandate means that there's a vote required to change a program. A 2 on mandate would be that it's self-mandated by your division or department. And then 0 would be that there's no requirement to offer that program. So these are just helpful as you're looking from a different perspective towards your program. Just a reminder about how we weight our results or our scores. So the results that you all have defined as specific to your organization have a 3-to-1 weight to the basic program attributes. So anything that has been uniquely defined for Kansas City Parks will have a weight of 3, whereas the BPAs have a weight of 1, with the exception of mandate, which has a higher weight of 2. All programs are scored against your results, and all programs are scored against your BPAs. Any questions about just kind of the background before we move on to specific peer review stuff?
Any questions so far? No?
Okay.
I think we're good.
Awesome. Okay, so why are we going through this peer review process? So first, it's to gain an understanding of the programs offered. So not just within your division, but for you to actually understand the programs offered throughout your department. So you're going to be scoring by result, or you're going to be validating scores by result area. So you're going to be looking at every program that exists within your department, whether or not it's in your division. So it'll help you to gain an understanding of what somebody is doing outside of your division. It also adds transparency and consistency. So you will be able to look and see, okay, maybe this person has an emotional attachment to a program, but they maybe should have scored it a 3 instead of a 4. So you're going in and validating and keeping everything consistent and honest and fair. It also allows you to provide input about why you believe a score should be changed or why you believe the score is accurate. Just a reminder of your 4 areas of results. We have natural resources, health and wellness, social equity, and organizational sustainability. These are the teams that have been assigned by super users and leadership. So we have 3 people per team. What we're going to ask that you all do is to determine a team facilitator. So that will be the person who is responsible for creating a meeting schedule. And we'll get into further specifics about that, but we recommend 3 meetings. You will also be the person who can follow up with those in the other divisions if you have questions about a program. And then the team facilitator will also be responsible for submitting the final score sheet. So we'll track all scores, all peer review scores in one template that will be returned to Krista and Terrence once you have completed it. So when you get together for your meetings, we recommend that you first start with the programs that have the highest scores, identify the ones that your team agrees on, and then note the ones where you feel like you need more information to either validate the score or to change the score. And then you'll go back to the division heads who did the scoring and ask for either more information to help you as you go through the process of either changing the score or confirming the score. And then you will come to a consensus and submit a final score sheet. So starting today, a couple of things that you can do in preparation for your first meeting is to become familiar with the results and definitions that you are responsible for. So if you are responsible for organizational sustainability, go ahead and become really familiar with that result and its definitions. Also looking through the program inventory and understanding what each program does or provides, and making notes of those that you are unsure of ahead of your meeting so that when you get there, you can ask those questions and be prepared. What you're going to do is to determine if the scores that the departments provided or the divisions provided, if that makes sense based on the definitions within your result area, and then on the influence on achieving that result area. So as you're going through this process and you want to reach out to the divisions for more information, you should ask questions if you don't understand what the program is or does. If you don't agree with the level of influence that the score from the division has indicated, or you just don't think that it has that much impact on that specific result area. So you're going to want to work with your team to agree with the score assigned or to recommend a change in the score. So a couple of things that you don't need to worry about doing. You don't need to worry about any other result area than the one that you have been assigned to. So you don't need to think about its relevance to a different result area. Just focus on yours. And then we'll go through the tips that we recommend for scores because they work as well for peer review. And then just enjoy the process of getting to know what everyone else in the department is doing. So tip number 1 for getting through peer review is to read each definition out loud and answer whether or not the program meets the definition. So that'll just help you to get familiar with the definitions and how they apply to each program. Does the program seem to influence most of the definitions? Yes, then we're looking at a higher score. If no, then looking at a potentially lower score. However, one thing to consider is if a program is essential to one definition within a result area, it may still deserve a higher score depending on its influence on the overall success of that particular result area. Tip number 2 is, in a world where that program simply went away, would it make it more difficult to achieve the result in a successful way? If yes, then a higher score of a 3 or 4. If no, then a lower score of a 1 or a 2. And if there's just no relevance, then we look at a score of 0. As you're going through the process, you don't need to worry about whether or not the results and the definitions are correct. They've been determined and finalized. So just use the definitions that are in front of you. You don't need to add new definitions or try to redefine anything. The relevance of the program as a whole is not within the purview of this process. It's just to look at the relevance of that program to your result area. And then we don't need to look at the costs or efficiencies within a program. We're simply looking at whether or not the division score is accurate and whether or not you agree with the influence on the overall result area to which you've been assigned. One quick note, don't be afraid to recommend a change or to make a change. We are scoring each one of these programs across 9 different areas. So 1 point higher or lower isn't going to drastically change the overall quartile result at the end. So, just be true to the process and understand that you recommending a change of a score or you making a change to a score is not going to condemn a program, nor is it going to shoot it to the top of the priority list for your department. Okay, any questions on the process thus far?
Where will we get the definitions from?
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the definitions are actually on the template, and we are getting to the template, but they are on the actual Excel spreadsheet that will be sent to you or to your team facilitator, but then they will also be in this slide deck that I will share with Krista.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right. So the 3 meetings that we recommend that you hold are about an hour long. I meant to change this last night because I noticed that it said an hour and a half. Just go ahead and block off 60 minutes for each one of these meetings over the next few weeks. First meeting, identify everything you agree on. Just get those out of the way and identify those that you need more information for. When you come back to that second meeting, have some information from the divisions where you had questions so that you can have a more informed discussion. And then that third meeting is where we need to just make sure that we have a peer review score in the template so that you can send it back to Krista and Terrence and it can be uploaded. A quick example of some ways to view the data. So this is looking at the health and wellness result area. And these are a couple of programs that scored as essential in the health and wellness result area. So it's just taking a look at each one of these programs and deciding as a team, do you agree with the score? Does it make sense that Brush Creek Center Adult Athletics scored a 4 and South District Trash, Litter, and Dump Site Removal scored a 4? The answer could be yes, the answer could be no, but it's important to look at it as a group of these things all scored a 4. Is that consistent? Does that make sense that these are both scored a 4? Do they apply to different definitions within that result area? Do they apply to the same definitions? But we're looking for that consistency across each one of the scores. If you need more information, ask the division. Do you understand what the acronym is in the program name or program description? Do you need some more information about what a program does or provides? Just get whatever information you need to be able to accurately validate the score of 2, 3, or 4, or 1 or 0. Or can you, from the information in front of you, can you validate or recommend a change? Just an example of the information from a different city. This is from the city of Duluth, and this is their Business Continuity and Disaster Recovery Program. Their result areas are across the bottom. So they score, this particular program scored a 1 in compliance, a 2 in customer service, and a 3 in trust and transparency. When we got to high performing org with the program of business continuity and disaster, these are the other programs that scored the same as high performing org. So this is, you know, comparing, it scored a 0, business continuity and disaster recovery scored a 0 in high performing org, as did city council meals, as did payroll processing and reporting, as did sublet repairs. And so you'll take a look at those lists of programs that scored the same thing and determine if that makes sense. Does it make sense that business continuity and disaster recovery scored a 0 for high performing org, along with city council meals and awards and recognition? Again, the answer could be yes, but it's important to take a look at that and determine the consistency across a score. Okay, as we get into the actual template, just a few reminders. Every single program must have a score. That score must be a numeric value of 0 to 4. Question marks, blanks, NAs, any sort of slashes or dashes, that will prevent the scorecard from uploading properly. Additionally, if you add any rows or columns, that will prevent the template from uploading correctly. So if you do add that in to help you organize information, just try to remember to remove it so that it will upload properly and they won't have to come back to you and ask you to fix it. So this is what a scorecard looks like. So it has the program information, it has the program description and the department comments that were left during the scoring process. Those are the department scores in that column. Any notes or comments that you want to leave as a peer review team can be left in the peer comments column. So if you have anything that you want to provide as feedback for why you changed a score, you can leave that information in the peer comments. And then this column is where you need to enter your 0 to 4 value for your peer review. Okay, then I was going to pull up an actual template from Kansas City Parks Department. So this is the health and wellness template. These will be sent to Krista and Terrence immediately following this meeting. You'll see again, we have all of the scores here. What you'll do is if you agree, go ahead and type the scores, just repeat them in this column, and then you can sort based on items that already are filled in. So you can pull the blanks to the top or to the bottom, whatever suits your approach to this. If you have questions about something or something doesn't match up, then that's where you can come over to this peer comments and leave notes during your meeting so that you know to follow up with a division or just with your team regarding a change that you all are going to make to a score. As far as the definitions, they are located on this second tab. So any definitions that go to support your result area will be here. And again, I'll also provide the slides so that you can have that for a reference if you'd rather have it in that format. Okay. I think that's all that I have to cover, but I'm here to answer any questions, so just let me know.
Questions you guys have for Liz? Mary, you did the first round. Is this next round?
Yeah, it's
Kind of same logic?
Yeah, same.
Different column, different view?
yeah, there's no, yeah.
Okay, good. Heidi? Monica? Good. All right. Well,
Wonderful. Well, Krista
I think-
and Terrence, I will get all of this information to you this morning so that you can share it and we can get this party started.
And Liz, I'll be sending you population serve hopefully late this evening sometime.
That's just fine, Terrence. That's not going to impact these templates, so don't worry about it. We'll get it done this week if we can.
hey, Liz, Liz, we did, one of the peer review, or one of the scores, program scores, has asked to have through Friday.
Oh, okay.
Because they were concerned about their consistency. So
Great.
they wanted an opportunity to go back and revisit. So could the files be exported starting next week so we give that individual time to go back and double check?
Absolutely. I'll put it on my calendar to run the templates Monday morning.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time today, Liz, and the training.
Of course. And I appreciate all of your time and hard work, and I really look forward to seeing how this all goes. Kristen, Terrence, please don't hesitate to reach out if there are questions, and I will get the video and slides to you so that you can distribute those on Monday with the templates.
Wonderful.
All right.